Okay, so we're group 3, and this is our vision board for the tier design thinking workshop. Obviously, there's 5 phases in design thinking: empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. And so that's what we've also sectioned out our agenda to follow those 5 phases. The first 3 phases we have said will take 1 week, and then the final 2 will take around 2 to 3 weeks. So for the first phase, which is empathize, the purpose of that phase is to research your users' needs. And so um, we need to collect data on the different user groups that are using the e-scooter, and these can be commuters, students, um, any of the different user groups, and we need to figure out their needs and lifestyles. And we can accomplish this through research, interviews, surveys, and so on. An example would be to create an incentive for app users to fill out a survey providing feedback on the company through a reward or discount, and this way we can get their input on the scooter and increase the base of users. Um, and then we also think that it would be beneficial for everyone on the team and on the board to incorporate the use of the e-scooter in their daily life, because maybe not everyone on the team is actually using it, and to really uncover challenges that the users may be facing using the e-scooter. The best way to do that is to use it yourself. And so that's also why this is a 1 week phase, because we think that everyone should spend at least 1 week using the scooter daily. It's also important to do a SWOT analysis of the market, so strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and then also researching other companies and competitors to see what they have done that's been beneficial to them and challenges that they face. And the overall end goal for this week 1 is to just collect data from the different sources that we're looking at. The second phase, which is define, we are going to gather all the data that we received in week 1 and then analyze it and then rank it according to importance based on users' needs. And then once we've done that, you guys should be able to develop a problem statement that's concise so that everyone on the team and in the workshop has the same idea and there's a clear problem definition. Moving into the ideate phase, this is also 1 week, and you will be using several methods to spark creativity and generate ideas. One way to do this is through a method called Crazy Eights, which is where all the workshop members will write down ideas in a really quick time frame to generate as many ideas as possible fast. They're not judged initially, and everyone should feel comfortable and supported in their choices. Another way to generate ideas is through reverse brainstorming, so identifying ways to create the opposite effect of common mobility issues for the e-scooter. This will get the workshop members talking and fostering new ideas. Um, and then there's also the method of how might we questions. So building the how might we questions from the insights of the previous 2 phases, divine and empathize. The end goal for this phase is idea selection. And so what are the most creative and most innovative ideas that can come from this phase? Then based off of the past 3 phases, you'll move into the prototyping phase, which will take a little longer, 2 to 3 weeks. And in the prototyping phase, you're essentially developing prototypes to visualize solutions in the future. So one way to do this is through digital prototyping using VR and AR to visualize potential solutions in a realistic setting. If you wanted to understand the physical feel and look, instead of seeing it digitally, you could do 3D printing, and so that allows you to actually understand the physical appeal. Um, When prototyping, you need to make sure that your ideas are innovative and creative and that it's not similar to what your competitors are doing. And then this will, the goal of this phase is to have a testable prototype that you can continue to test over and over again, which would move you into the last phase, which is the testing phase, which should also last 2 to 3 weeks. But in general, the testing phase is an endless cycle. And so for the testing phase, there will be user testing. So trial runs, you want to gather customers to see what they think of the product, the design, how easy it is to use, how it works. Will they use it? Do they like it or dislike it, etc.? And make sure to actively observe the user while testing, not to immediately correct. And then also feedback is really important. So things like user surveys, user feedback forms, and follow-up questions with the users. Figure out what works and what doesn't work. And then, yeah, just understanding that testing is an endless cycle. So the end goal of this is obviously a functioning product, but then also you want to continually innovate on that product as time goes on. Key stakeholders to include in this process include engineers, tier executives, tier board members, product managers, the marketing team, designers, and then the design thinking workshop organizers. City officials could be really beneficial to include, and obviously the users of the e-scooters in general, so the different user groups that we're developing personas for in the first phase. So that's the general idea behind an agenda for design thinking to rethink the tier vision and how they could innovate their product and their company and how to reach that through this process. Thank you.